Alright guys, so this is the second video. We're going to be talking about how to restore your image, right? So some of you guys are really struggling with this. Some of you guys are grasping it really easily. And some of you guys aren't doing it at all. So that's a problem in itself. So first thing is we want to zoom in. Always zoom in to get a better representation of what you're working with. Meaning, if you don't know how pixelated your image is, or if you don't know how big your image is, zooming in will help. If you start zooming in and you start getting pixelation right off the bat, you know it's a low DPI. So you're going to have to try and balance this out. Especially if this is all that your client has for you to work with. So, meaning if it's a picture that's, you know, really small and maybe they've scanned it in somewhere and they don't have the image anymore, but they really want to get this thing fixed. So it's your responsibility to try and work with what you have. The other way that we can check is if you go under image, you can scroll down to image size or canvas size, and when you check out that size, it'll tell you the dimensions of your photograph or of your file that you're working with. So here's telling me that it's a 13 by 16 inches, but the resolution is what's low. It's at 72. One of the things you don't want to do is try and rest this up by just grabbing this and making this image larger, because it's not going to fix that pixelation. That pixelation is set. So we just have to make sure that we are smart about the way that we're editing, okay? So I'm going to cancel out of this. I'm going to zoom back out, and we're going to go over some of the basic tool sets. So zoom out. So the first tool that we're going to go over, which should be easy enough to pick up, is your patch tool. And that's one that is used just to get rid of small marks or get rid of areas that you can sample from clear areas. Remember that with everything that we do here, it's about sampling or resampling to get the best representation of this photograph. You could work off of a secondary photograph, but if you're working just off of one, then you have to make sure you want to make sure that you're selecting from the best areas that have the clearest representation of the person. So for example, if I want to remove this mark, I can make a circle by just clicking and dragging and letting go. You'll get these marching ads. Make sure that you're dragging to an area that's giving you the right lighting representation to what you're trying to cover up. So if I drag this down and remove it and go Command D, you can see how there's a light halo around the area that I've healed, but it's healed it to where it's matched up or replicated the lighting or the shadow area pretty good. So we would want to go back in here and fix this light halo area. It makes it easier to fix, right? You can do the same thing with large areas, for example, like this area here. The only problem with this area here is that here, if I make a selection, now we have two different representations of lighting. You have the dark that's coming from the top left-hand corner, and the light, which is coming from the highlight, which is in the middle of his forehead. So if I move this around, if I go way too low, then I know for a fact that right on top, I'm going to get a patch that's not going to work for me. So I have to find a place or an area that has a representation of both. So maybe there, play with it, have some fun, experiment. Experimentation is something that I would recommend. Fail as much as possible to hopefully give you the best results and to give you the experience enough to make smart choices when you're working with these programs. So if I release and let go, Command D, and I always go Command D just to see what I've done. That's not too bad, right? You see how we're getting a good representation of the dark, the mid, and the light. Of course, we can still see a light little halo around here. So again, we're going to have to fix that. And I'll fix that with the next tool that I'm going to show you, which is the stamp tool. But let's go one tool at a time, okay? So I'm going to zoom back out. We're going to get that. A nice representation of the top and the bottom. So you can see how this tool is beneficial to clear small and large areas, actually. So for example, maybe I want to clear up this whole block up here, so I can make a selection of that and then drag it down and let it go. Command D, deselect Z, and then zoom out, and you can see how I've cleared a part of his forehead. Anyway, so I'm going to stop here and then create another video for you guys that'll give you another representation of another tool that we can use that can help you guys clear up some of these photographs. Now, this is all to help you guys get a better representation of how these tools can help you with your own photographs that you're taking for fun or for the assignments, and really kind of push the creativity level within Photoshop. All right guys, we'll see you in the next video.